Here we are at the fourth video, designing the blog data schema. In our previous video, we created our first project. In this video, we'll first activate your application and then we'll create and apply migrations. We will start by defining the initial data models for our blog. A model is a Python class that subclasses django.db.models.model, in which each attribute represents a database field. Django will create a table for each model defined in the models.py file. When you create a model, Django offers you a practical API to query the database easily. First, we'll define a post model. For that, add these lines to the model.py file of the blog application. This is our basic model for blog posts. Let's take a look at the fields we just defined for this model. Title. This is the field for the post title. This field is char field, which translates into a varchar column in the SQL database. Slug. This is a field intended to be used in URLs. A slug is a short label containing only letters, numbers, underscores or hyphens. We'll use the slug field to build beautiful SEO-friendly URLs for our blog posts. We have added the unique forDate parameter to this field so we can build URLs for posts using the date and slug of the post. Django will prevent multiple posts having the same slug for the same date. Author. This field is foreign key. This field defines a many-to-one relationship. We're telling Django that each post is written by a user and a user can write several posts. For this field, Django will create a foreign key in the database using the primary key of the related model. In this case, we're relying on the user model of the Django authentication system. We specify the name of the reverse relationship from user to post with the related name attribute. We're going to learn more about this later. Body. This is the body of the post. This field is text field, which translates into a text column in the SQL database. Publish. This date time indicates when the post was published. We use Django's timezone_now method as default value. This is just a timezone-aware datetime.now. Created. This datetime indicates when the post was created. Since we are using auto_now_add here, the date will be saved automatically when creating an object. Updated. This datetime indicates the last time the post has been updated. Since we are using auto_now here, the date will be updated automatically when saving an object. Status. This is a field to show the status of a post. We use a choices parameter, so the value of this field can only be set to one of the given choices. As you can see, Django comes with different types of fields that you can use to define your models. You can find all field types at this webpage. The class meta inside the model contains the metadata. We are telling Django to sort results by the publish field in descending order by default when we query the database. We specify descending order using the negative prefix. The string method is the default human-readable representation of the object. Django will use it in many places, such as the administration site. If you come from Python 2.x, note that in Python 3, all strings are natively considered Unicode. Therefore, we only use the string method. The Unicode method is obsolete. Since we are going to deal with datetimes, we'll install the pytz module. This module provides time zone definitions for Python and is required by SQLite to work with datetimes. Open the shell and install pytz with the help of the command pip install pytz. Here you can see that it's installed. Django comes with support for time zone-aware datetimes. You can activate or deactivate time zone support with the use_tz setting in the settings.py file of your project. This setting is set to true when you create a new project using the start project management command. Now let's activate the application. In order for Django to keep track of our application and be able to create database tables for its models, we have to activate it. To do this, edit the settings.py file and add blog to the installed apps setting. It should look like this. Now Django knows that our application is active for this project and will be able to introspect its models. We'll now create and apply migrations. Let's create a data table for our model in the database. Django comes with a migration system to track the changes you do to your models and propagate them into the database. The migrate command applies migrations for all applications listed in installed apps. It synchronizes the database with the current models and migrations. For that, we first need to create a migration for the new model we just created. Open the command prompt. From the root directory of your project, enter this command. You should get this output. 0001_initial.py file has been migrated. Django just created a file, 0001initial.py, inside the migrations directory of the blog application. You can open that file to see how a migration looks like. Let's take a look at the SQL code that Django will execute in the database to create the table for our model. The SQL migrate command takes migration names and returns their SQL without running it. Run this command to inspect its output. The output should look as follows. The exact output depends on the database you are using. The output here is generated for SQLite. As you can see, Django generates the table names by combining the app name and the lowercase name of the model, blog_post. But you can also specify them in the meta class of the models using the dbTable attribute. Django creates a primary key automatically for each model, but you can also override this, specifying primary key equals true on one of your model fields. Let's sync our database with the new model. For that, let's run this command to apply existing migrations. You'll get this output that ends with the line as shown. We just applied migrations for the applications listed in installed apps, including our blog application. After applying migrations, the database reflects the current status of our models. If you edit your models.py file in order to add, remove or change fields of existing models, or if you add new models, you'll have to make a new migration using the make migrations command. The migration will allow Django to keep track of model changes. Then you'll have to apply it with the migrate command to keep your database in sync with your models. Awesome! Here we saw how to design the blog data schema. In our next video, we'll see how to create an administration site for your models.